All right, let's dive right into one of history's biggest, most fascinating puzzles. We're talking about a civilization so ancient, so mysterious, it pretty much forces us to tear up the history books and rethink the entire story of the Americas.
Okay, so let me ask you something. If I said, name the first great civilization in the Americas, what pops in your head? Seriously, take a second. What's the first name you think of?
I'm willing to bet you thought of the Maya, or maybe the Aztec, or the Inca, right? Those are the heavy hitters. But what if I told you the real answer is a civilization that's thousands of years older? Say hello to the Norte Chico. And yeah, that date you're seeing, 3000 BCE, that is not a typo at all.
And look, we're not just talking about some small village here. This was America's forgotten first civilization. Their story kicks off a staggering 5,000 years ago. It's just mind-bending when you think about it.
Just let that number land for a second. 5,000 years. To give you some context, this is happening at the exact same time that the Great Pyramids are going up in Egypt. So while the pharaohs are building their legacy on the Nile, this equally complex, equally incredible society is rising up on a totally different continent with absolutely no idea the other existed. It's just wild.
Okay, this timeline really drives the point home. Look all the way to the left. You've got Norte Chico popping up right alongside Egypt and Mesopotamia, the classic cradles of civilization we all learned about. But then, look how much of a head start they have on everyone else in the Americas. We're talking 1,500 years before the Olmec even gets started, and a whopping 3,000 years before the classic Maya hit their peak. It's a completely different scale.
So where did this all go down? You might be picturing a lush jungle, but nope. This whole incredible story unfolded along the super dry, arid coastal valleys of modern-day Peru. I mean, a really tough place to build a society, which honestly just makes what they accomplished even more amazing.
And this is where we get to the real heart of the mystery, the central puzzle of Norte Chico. They were a society just full of paradoxes. They managed to build something incredible with almost none of the things we usually think are, essential for a civilization.
First up, let's just look at what they built. We're talking massive, pyramid-like structures, huge planned cities, and these amazing sunken circular plazas, which were probably used for big public ceremonies. I mean, this was a seriously sophisticated, highly organized society, no question about it. Okay, but now, get ready for the twist. Let's talk about what they didn't have. They had no pottery. Think about that, no pots for storing food or water. No metal tools to build all those huge structures. No written language, at least none that we've ever found. And here's the real kicker, almost zero evidence of warfare. No weapons, no forts, no defensive walls. It's like this list just flies in the face of everything we think a complex ancient society is supposed to have. So that leaves us with this massive question, right? How in the world do you build huge cities and organize thousands upon thousands of people without the usual tools of power, without armies, without conquest, without kings cracking the whip? How did they possibly pull this off?
Well, the answer, it seems, lies in this brilliantly simple but incredibly powerful economic engine. It was all built on this ingenious alliance between what the sea could offer and what the land could produce. At the heart of it all was this one core concept: economic interdependence. It's a fancy term, but the idea is simple. If different groups of people rely on each other for stuff they absolutely need to survive, then, well, working together suddenly makes a whole lot more sense than fighting.
So here's how this genius system actually worked. You had communities living on the coast, and they got really, really good at fishing, pulling in just tons of anchovies and other fish. Then, further inland, you had farmers. But here's the thing. They weren't growing tons of food. They were growing cotton. And the link that held it all together was trade. The fishermen needed that cotton to make their fishing nets, right? And the inland farmers needed all that fish as a reliable source of protein. It created this perfect, powerful loop where everyone needed each other. And that's what fueled the growth of the whole shebang.
Okay, let's take a step back for a second, because the implications of this are just huge. The story of Norte Chico isn't just some interesting fact about ancient Peru. It fundamentally changes how we think about the entire story of human civilization itself.
And this might be the most mind-blowing part of all. They did all of this completely on their own. They built this complex society in almost total isolation. No contact with Egypt, no influence from Mesopotamia, nothing. They were an island of civilization, an independent invention. So what does that actually mean?
It means the whole idea of civilization wasn't just invented once in the Middle East and then exported around the globe. Nope. It's an idea, a solution that human beings could come up with all on their own in totally different places using totally different methods. It's just an incredible testament to how clever we are as a species.
So, after all this, what are the big takeaways? What are the lessons that this incredible, long-lost civilization left behind for us, buried under all that sand? Well, after thriving for more than 1,000 years, their society just gradually faded away. We're still not totally sure why. Could have been climate change, maybe resources shifted, but whatever the reason, their amazing cities were swallowed by the desert sands and their story was completely lost, forgotten for a millennia. It's only really in our lifetime, in the late 20th century, that we've started to rediscover and understand who they were. And that's really the crucial takeaway here. The story of Norte Chico forces us to hit the pause button and question all our basic assumptions about human progress. It completely challenges that old story that civilization has to be built on war and conquest, or that you need powerful kings to get big things done. It shows us there isn't just one single path to creating a complex society. And that leaves us with this one final, powerful idea to chew on. America's first great civilization wasn't built on war, and it wasn't built by kings. It was built on cooperation, on smart innovation, and on a really deep understanding of their natural world. Their story is this incredible, forgotten blueprint, a reminder that another way is and always has been possible. And that's something worth thinking about.